YouTube today. I hope that you're having a pretty good morning or afternoon, wherever you may be. And this video I decided to do live because I'm a little bit lazy and I don't feel like doing the editing later on. But there is something that I do want to talk about just for a few minutes, and that is, well, what has become a bit of a buzzword for the year 2025, or the year 114. That's because here in Taiwan we follow a different calendar, so it's 114. But to do away with any type of confusion, let's just use 2025. So the buzzword for 2025 seems to be tariffs. Now, not that long ago, Donald Trump, the president of the United States, said that he was going to impose a 25% tax on all items from Mexico and Canada. And then, just as it was about to go in place, there were some discussions that took place, and the whole idea was scrapped. And given 30 days, if you go online, you can read more about it. But it's sort of like he was asking things that Canada and Mexico do that Canada and Mexico were already doing in an agreement that he actually signed a few years earlier. Now, in the last 24 hours of doing this live video right now, he said that he was going to impose a 25% tariff on all imported steel and aluminium across the board, which Canada and Mexico are saying, well, wait a second, that should not include us because you agreed. Anyway, go read about it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Now, the extraordinary thing about this is that, to be honest, he really doesn't understand how tariffs work. Now, a lot of his supporters will say, oh, tariffs is a great thing. It's protecting American jobs. But is it? Now, the misconception that a lot of people have about tariffs is that if you're passing a tariff, you're charging the country where the goods are from. That's not how it works. So, let me give you an example. If you're a steel manufacturer, let's say in Canada, or you could be in the UK or Australia, and you're sending steel to the United States, you're selling it to the importer at the same price that you normally would. The importer pays the money. It's put onto container ships, it's sent to the US. Once it reaches US shores, uh, then customs will put a 25% tariff on it. So you're then paying another 25%. So you import the steel, you turn it into whatever goods it is, you then sell it to other parties. You need to make a profit. So you add what you would normally add on top of it for your profit. Those companies take it, manufacture goods. They could be panniers for motorcycles or all kinds of accessories for motorcycles that need steel and aluminium. And wait a second, they're paying more than they were before. So maybe cost went up 30% for them. So they then have to raise the costs for the retailers that are going to sell it. And of course, the retailers need to make their profit in it, so then the retailers add their money on top of it. And at the end of the day, who pays for it? The consumer. So it is, tariffs are, it's a great buzzword, especially for people that don't know about tariffs. Now, I'm no expert on tariffs, but I do know enough about them that at the end of the day, it's the consumer that ends up paying more for whatever product. So it is just completely silly. Now, the funny thing is, he thinks that it's going to protect American jobs. Well, if you're, let's say, a manufacturer of motorcycle panniers that use aluminum and steel, aluminum, there's quite a few that are made of aluminium, and your costs are more, which means you have to raise the prices. You're probably going to sell more, which means, oh, I might have to lay off workers because I'm not going to be able to produce as many as I once did. You see how it is? It's sort of like this circle that just kind of goes round and round and round. And then we have a manufacturer, let's say like Harley Davidson. Now, Harley Davidson bikes are already expensive now. Um, the last time his administration put a tariff on steel and aluminium, at the beginning, Harley Davidson, I remember them saying that they would eat the costs uh, that would be charged. And they sort of did that, but they also raised the prices. So now all the Harley fanboys are going to be bitching and complaining. Why are Harley Davidson so expensive? Well, hello, you know, isn't that complicated? I mean, it is just extraordinary how somebody can think that by adding tariffs on steel and aluminum is going to protect U.S. jobs. It isn't. But you see, the thing though is that ever since this started to be discussed, countries like Canada, Mexico, the European Union, the Australians, um, and others have been looking at options. One of the options, of course, is to have closer trade ties with each other with less reliance on the United States. Now, while the US is a big market, if these countries manage to negotiate something tangible where they're bringing closer together, this is going to be in a very difficult position for the US because the US then will, what do we do now? Because they've signed all these agreements and they've actually increased the amount that they're selling, but we still have the tariffs in place. We're paying more expensive. You see what I mean? Which is exactly kind of what I predict will happen if these tariffs actually end up happening the way some people are predicting. Tariffs are just a really dumb idea, especially in manufacturing. I mean, there was this one thing that he mentioned. I mean, it's not related to steel or any other metals, but recently the Trump administration or Trump himself said that he wanted to put a 100% tariff on microchips from Taiwan. Uh huh. And he also accused Taiwan of stealing its microchip industry. That is actually not true. TSMC, which is one of the largest manufacturers of microchips in the world and supply the vast majority of the world with microchips, um, did not steal anything from the US. It just started from their own innovations and their own ingenuity. So if they do that, then let's say the car industry, which uses microchips, the motorcycle industry that uses microchips, who do you think is going to pay for that at the end of the day? Yeah, the consumer. I mean, it is just, it's loony. It is just completely loony. Anyway, that's all for this little bit of a live stream video. I want to see what you think of it, what your views are of tariffs. As I said earlier, I wanted to do this video live because I'm a little bit too lazy to do any editing and I don't have any time. So I thought I'll just upload it live, leave in the mistakes, any bloopers in and all that stuff together. So like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you soon. And by the way, when I say that, you'll probably see my finger coming up to actually close the window, like right now.